Hi, I'm Martin. I'm the current club captain of rugby league here at the uni.
My name is Katie. I'm currently a second year geology student.
Hi, I'm Kieran.
Hello, my name is Mashuda.
I'm Kieran, I'm 24, I'm a PhD student here at the University of Leicester.
My name's Niall, I'm a first year student studying accounting finance.
I'm Elliot, I'm a fourth year law with French law and language student.
Hi, I'm Rachel, I'm a third year English student.
I'm currently diagnosed with depression and I have been for 1.5 years.
I am struggling with anxiety and depression.
I've suspended my studies because I suffered from severe depression and anxiety at the start of the year.
I had a very close family member who went through a period of depression, and I have a lot of close friends who go through anxiety.
Speaking, I am towards type 2 bipolar. More of what you would call generally a mixed state, because it's kind of varied and it's changed a lot since I've started taking medication and doing things seriously.
I've been depressed since I was 13, had anxiety since I was 17 and been a self-harmer and suicidal since I was 17.
I'm bipolar, I have borderline personality disorder and I have anxiety.
I've grown up around it. My brother had really bad anxiety when I was younger, and then in my first year of university I developed it around the Christmas exam period. I had 5 exams and it was just too stressful. I didn't really enjoy my course and I was having panic attacks every day.
It just means that I'm sort of in a constant struggle with myself as well as the environment around me. With anxiety, with my degree course, it can be not being able to function properly in lecture theatres. Like, I can get really panicky and want to always get out of there, so sometimes I just don't go because I know that when I'm in there I'll want to leave the environment.
To feel completely and utterly hopeless and completely and utterly useless, even when I'm quite clearly helping people, quite clearly liked by people.
I feel that's really important to combat the stigma that lies around mental health issues, because a lot of people have negative portrayal of people suffering with mental health issues, but that's really not the point. People shouldn't have to face stigma for what's out of their control.
Like, it's just hard to just get yourself motivated to do anything, and you just want to sleep all the time, and then you have all the anxiety which comes with that because you're just panicking about all of that.
So bipolar is something a lot of people don't really understand. People often think it's a mix between just being happy and sad, and it's so much more than that. It can range from really, really severe depression to a state called mania, which is where basically you are kind of out of control. People think it's just like happiness, but it's actually somewhat worse than depression in some situations. So for me, like, bipolar is something that's really misunderstood, and I find that sometimes a bit difficult to deal with.
I just decided that I needed just to kind of get the word out just to lots of people, rather than just telling people individually about mental health. So I put a status up on Facebook, and the amount of support I had from everyone was just unbelievable.
I found that sort of close friends in particular seem to understand more, I think, because they're of similar age and they've grown up with the same sort of environment as me, whereas like my parents have found it really difficult to accept like what I'm feeling, because they tend to think that I then think that they've been bad people for this to happen to me, but it's not anything to do with that, it's just me in my head.
My mum's been really supportive as well, but I do occasionally come across people who do have quite severe prejudices. For example, in the past I've had people say to me that I don't deserve to participate in the same things that other people do. I've had some really horrendous things said to me, like for example, I was dating someone once and they said, "Oh, you're bipolar, I'm not really comfortable with that, let's call it off." But at the same time, it doesn't mean that all my experiences have been negative. I think that one of the best things to do sometimes is to open up to a close friend.
Department-wise, my subject department at the moment have been really helpful. I've had to have mit-circs for exams and stuff like that, and they've been really understanding. With my dissertation, I was really stressed out, and I ended up leaving it to the last minute because I just couldn't do it, and my tutor was really nice to me, gave me extended deadlines to send him stuff, and they were all just really understanding.
Looking back, when I was a teenager, it was very much, I should have probably sought counselling and advice earlier, but I didn't because of a sort of fear that I would get labelled and that would affect my education and career prospects later on. It was sort of like, oh, you know, keep it in sort of thing.
I suppose my biggest piece of advice, it's dead simple, is just listen to people and don't be afraid sometimes to ask questions, because it's probably better to ask a question, have a better understanding of what you're doing than stay silent and probably not support your friend the way that you need to.
I would say be there for them straight away. Don't ever feel like, oh, now that they're going through depression, they're a complete different person. They're still the same person. They just need someone to be there and be supportive, because obviously whatever's onset the depression is there in their mind. So maybe do things that take their mind off things, and then when they're more open to talk about it, that's when you can talk about it. And it will take time, it's not easy. It took us like a couple of years.
Patience is key, because if you tell somebody something good about themselves when they're depressed, often they won't accept it. So don't take that personally. That's just the depression talking.
That people seem to forget quite a bit is that, in terms of depression anyway, that it's not just a blanket sadness, it's not just that, it's like, it's more than just that. Sometimes they'll just be feeling emotionless and sometimes it won't be. And a lot of people don't realise that depression and loneliness come hand in hand.
I would say talk as soon as you can. So I bottled things up for a very, very long time. And I'd say talk honestly. So up until recently, and I still do it a bit, I sort of give people a filtered version of my sort of problems.
If you're dealing with someone who has a mental health problem, talking to them and having a conversation about what they want is really helpful, but focusing on what they have to say, so listening to them instead of dominating the conversation, because then you can really get what they want from you. And just being supportive, really, like checking up, sending little texts saying, oh, how are you? That's really helpful.
Definitely, without a doubt, go seek help if you feel like you need it. If you're having feelings of self-harm or suicide or anything of that sort, without a doubt, tell someone. It doesn't matter whether it's your friends, your family, go seek GP, go to the university mental health services, go to the counselling, do anything, just don't keep it to yourself.
There is help available out there. It can be like counselling, friends, family. Like if you're brave enough to sort of help to make them understand the way you feel, I think it's very helpful. If your mental illness is stopping you from going into uni and that kind of stuff and giving you troubles in that sense, then talking to your department is a massive thing I would recommend, because they're often a lot more helpful than you think they are, and they can do a lot more.
The stigma about mental health is decreasing like year by year at the moment, and you shouldn't be scared about anything.
For somebody, especially with something such as bipolarism, it's ingrained as part of their personality, and the last thing they want is pity and you sort of feeling sorry for them. Like, treat them as a normal person, but be patient and just be aware of their quirks.
Last year I helped to set up the Mental Health Awareness and Support Society with a couple of friends, and that's been really helpful, not only for me but I think for other people, because we didn't really have anything like that in the uni before, so I think it allows people to talk about mental health problems with people who are going to understand or who want to understand, and we do things like workshops where I'll teach people about mental health and we have a stall, and I think that's really good because it helps break down the stigma.
1 in 4 people experience a mental health issue each year. If it's that common, we shouldn't be afraid to speak out. The SU and the university have a number of different support systems in place, including the new mental wellbeing drop-in service. Make sure you seek help if you're struggling. There's more information on the website if you need it.